As part of this project, we removed several trunks full of textiles from the attic of the Stevens-Crawford Heritage House. Textiles are particularly sensitive to the fluctuations in temperature and humidity that are commonly found in attics, and over time this can cause them to break down and fade. We brought the trunks to the Museum of the Oregon Territory so that we could catalog the items inside and place them in a stable environment for permanent storage.
The staples in adult fashion have remained relatively the same since the mid-19th century. The beginning of the 20th century ushered in an evolution in children's clothing. Until World War I, little boys were dressed in skirts and had long hair. Gender-specific color coding in the form of pink or blue clothing for infants was not common in this country until the 1920s. Beforehand, male and female children were dressed in identical white dresses. At the time, clothing was meant to distinguish children from adults instead of boys from girls. However, their clothing did resemble women's dress of the period. Small details such as buttons and trim were the only gender markers.
Research at the Stevens-Crawford Heritage House here in Oregon City has uncovered a military history connected to the two families that built it, starting with their progenitor. In 1861, Medorm Crawford was pressed into service by the U.S. Army. Medorm was a native New Yorker who followed the Oregon Trail to and settled in Oregon in 1842. Nearly 2 decades later, the Army called on him to escort immigrants along the Oregon Trail.
Before storing them, we tagged the objects with their museum ID numbers. This will enable future museum staff to connect each object with its catalog record. Catalog records are vital documents that hold all of the information that we can gather on an object, such as who donated it, how it was used, and when it dates to. Unfortunately, many of the objects that we unpacked did not have numbers, which means that much of this information has been lost over time. Still, with research, we managed to uncover some important stories about the objects in the trunks.